It's November 30th, folks, so I'd like to share something on the screen. This is our court case from yesterday. And as you can see, yesterday it had Judge Gennario handling the case. Today, it's Honorable John Kavanowski, who I've never met. Robinson Cole here is a defendant. They are bribing my Senate Majority Leader. And Harry Rilling is covering up 500,000 felonies. So, I'm on hold with the court. I just wanted to show you that they're switching the judges, ruling from the bench, and denying hearings, denying fee waivers, which is administrative misconduct, and I ended up getting a guy in Hartford because Stanford won't answer the phone. It's all good. Maybe I should describe this part. The trial management report, non-suit, this non-suit's on 10/15, which I got the notice on 10/16. This Amy Ertel is a money launderer. You could read her affidavit if you want. She's being accused by the state of Pennsylvania of fraud. Here, Pivot Ministries continues to operate a sober house. Pivot Ministries never filed for any permits. Firetree never opened an RRC. Yes, it did. Once the city denied the permits, Firetree entered into an agreement with Pivot. No, they didn't. They operated it for 2 years. That is false. How many false statements can these people make? Let's go back. I'll show you other ones. Let's look at all these affidavits here. Granted. See? Robert Gennario. Granted an extension of time. Defendant. Objection, defendant. Motion to dismiss, defendant.
Good afternoon, how can I help you?
I filed a motion yesterday in this case. I was talking to this gentleman from Hartford who is very kind, but he can't find it because he's not in the right city.
Okay, well, you filed a motion. It has not been quoted as of yet.
I want to know why, overnight, you guys changed the screen and made Kavanowski the judge, not Gennario.
I don't understand. I don't see anything.
Gennario wrote me a letter
I don't see...
telling me to come to court yesterday at 10:15, which I did, and other people came, and he didn't show, and neither did the defendant.
Are you talking about John Flynn versus
That's me.
Firetree?
Yeah, that's me.
Okay.
Why is Gennario in the screen, or Kavanowski in the screen, when yesterday it was Gennario? Gennario told me to come to court. Gennario said in a motion, this case is going to trial. Now this Kavanowski character...
Is there a reference to your motion to dismiss?
Excuse me. You can't dismiss this case without a hearing. Period. Yeah.
I don't see any place where...
And by the way, I went to speak to the judge, the clerk sent me to the judge's chamber. The judge was there.
To the judge's chambers?
And 3 marshals blocked me from talking to her, to the judge's secretary. And they violated my First Amendment right. Yeah, they did.
Okay. what is it that I can help you with today?
Who switched the judges last night from Gennaro to Kavanewski?
I don't know who switched the judges last night. I don't know when it was switched.
Well, somebody did. Can't you check the entries? Can you check the entries?
I don't have any indication of anything that was switched. Is there something else I can help you with?
What is your name? What is your name? Because, by the way, when you first of all ask me to come to court and then rule on the court order to appear for a hearing, then you switch the judges, have that judge rule on the other judge's motion. Did the judge approve?
Do not file a motion in the file.
And then you refuse. Hold on. Then you refuse to file my motion to re-argue. That's misconduct. Administrative misconduct. I just sent an email. Hold on. I filed it yesterday.
Okay, then it is not in the file.
Well, hold on a second.
It's coded in.
I emailed Ryan Flanagan. It was blocked. He blocked my email. Huh?
Once it is coded in.
I want to know why Ryan Flanagan blocked my email.
I don't know why he blocked your email or if he blocked your email.
Well, I'm saying he did because I'm looking at my outbox and my inbox, and it says that it was returned unopened by Ryan Flanagan. Here, you want me to
file your motion? Did you fax it in? Did you bring it in, or did you email it to us?
I handed it to the clerk.
Okay, so when it is coded, it is not.
It was coded.
As of yet.
It was coded yesterday.
It was not coded, sir.
Oh, then someone lied to me?
Hold on,
You mean another person's involved in the lie?
I'll put you through to Ryan. Hold on. Okay, I'm going to transfer you. Hold on.
Hello, this is Ryan.
I sent you an email at 11:45. You refused it. I sent it again at 12:55, and you refused it.
No, I don't see those. Which email did you
I handed the clerk. Yes, remember when you were in the window and I said, "How come you guys are just walking by and no one's processing my stuff?" And you said, "Oh, hold on, I'll get a lady." You got a lady. I handed her a note. I handed her my motion to re-argue, which she stamped and gave me a stamped copy of it.
Okay.
And at that time, in the screen, it said Gennaro was the judge. Now it says Kavanewski. So someone went into the file, changed the judge. You guys asked me to go to the judge's secretary, which I did. But 3 marshals were blocking it and refused me to speak to the judge's secretary. That's a 1st, 14th, and 9th constitutional violation. It is. Look it up. So here we
You
go.
gotta take that up.
Now then, they ordered me to come back to the second floor, which I did. What happened then? I put in a motion. She stamped it. It's not in the screen. And you switch the judge back to Kavanowski again. So someone's going into the court record. Someone is going into the court record and changing. I had a motion, okay? I had a court date with Judge Gennario, who was there, who said he wasn't there. Then, the defendants didn't show because they were told that the motion was ruled on already, correct? You can correct me anytime. I went to the courtroom to go for the motion that was scheduled, and you guys refused to have a hearing, which was a court order by a judge, and another judge. Yes, hold on. It was an order of the court. I had it in my hand. I had a court order from the court in my hand saying, appear in court at 10:15 on 11/29 on the 6th floor with Judge Gennario, where I went. I was blocked from that. I put in a motion to re-argue, which isn't in the screen. That was blocked. You're denying me access to the court in the courtroom, in the secretary's office, and nobody from the clerk's office posted my motion.
So the notice that you had was that it was printing on the docket. That was not a notice of a hearing.
It was a notice of a hearing. I have it in my possession. It says I need to be there for an arguable motion, which I requested, which you guys obstructed.
I saw what you handed me. That is a notice that it is printing on the docket. That is not a notice of a hearing, sir.
Ryan, you can argue all you want. The fact is,
I'm not arguing with you because I know what you showed me.
you just blocked 2 of my emails. I'm not allowed to be, I am not allowed, hold on. I'm not allowed on the e-filing service. You've blocked every attempt that I have made to get to court. That's my right as a citizen.
Which email did you email me from? I'll email you right now and you can respond. The Clairvoyant Capital or the,
No.
what was the other one? John
Yeah.
for Senate?
Yeah. I didn't try Clairvoyant Capital. I'll go and try Clairvoyant Capital. You ready?
I'm emailing you right now.
Okay, hold on.
I just sent you a blank email to Clairvoyant Capital.
Well,
You can respond
that,
right now.
by the way, what will that prove? Nothing. That you just circumvented what you did last time.
Mr. Flynn, why would I
Oh,
bother
excuse me.
blocking any of your
Excuse me. My son had a hit put on him. I had a hit put on me.
I know.
Okay, fine. So why are you blocking my access to the court?
I have done nothing of the sort.
You just sent me. I have both emails that you returned.
I'm sorry?
I have both emails that you just returned.
I did not. When did I emailed you just now? A blank
11:45 and 12:55. You did it twice today. You've been doing it every day.
Mr. Flynn, I can only. You can go ahead and accuse me of whatever you want.
I'm saying, where's my motion?
It probably hasn't been scanned in yet. If you'd like, I'll make sure it gets scanned in today. We don't scan in everything immediately.
Who switched the judge?
No one switched any judge.
The judge is switched on the screen. The judge is switched on the
I
screen.
have the case up. I have the case right here. Now,
You're the guys manipulating the court. You're manipulating the court. You can't switch the judge.
Where are you?
I'm on the case
Where are
detail.
you?
Look at the top
Okay,
page.
so
What does it say? Kavanowski. Yesterday it said Gennario, and it had another guy's name. It had 2 judges there
Which
yesterday.
order are you talking about? Just the judge who disposed of the case, or which order are you speaking?
Excuse me.
Specifically?
You can't dismiss a case without a hearing. Period.
Well, Judge Kavanowski didn't dismiss it. He entered a judgment of non-suit.
Excuse me. I've had 300 non-suits, what you call non-suits. 300 now. Actually, it's 340. It's actually 340 out of 350.
Clearly, you don't believe me. Believe what I'm telling you. Clearly, you believe that I'm manipulating your case.
Who switched the judge? Who switched the judge?
And you can take up with my supervisor. You can take up with the chief clerk.
Who's that?
Because that's Megan McCaffrey.
Oh, you know what? She's named in a criminal suit by the other guy, Pritchard.
Okay.
Megan McCaffrey has never answered a single email I have ever sent her, which is probably in the hundreds as well. Nor has Amy.
You should take that up with her bosses at court operations. You can go up the line.
And who's that?
So if court operations, who supervises all of the courthouses for the state.
You mean the chief court administrator? You mean Carol?
Office, but you can speak to them as well.
Do you mean Carol?
So yes.
Right, I've spoken to him. He can't find my 30 judicial complaints. He only found 3 out of the 30.
Look, Mr. Flynn, you apparently are known to the impression that I'm lying to you, that I'm manipulating the cases. That I'm
Somebody is. Did I say it was you?
I don't understand.
I asked you who. If they're updating the record, if they're updating the court record, who did it? There's no way of telling?
There has been no change in any of the judges in this case. Any order that's been
It says Kavanowski today. Yesterday it said Gennaro and Carter, I believe.
There is no Judge Carter.
Well, who's on the notice? Hold on, I'll get you the notice. Why don't you look at the notice and tell me whose name is on the notice? You said you have the notice? Why don't you look it up?
I'll pull up your notices right now.
Okay. There's 2 names on the last one I got. And none of them are Kavanowski.
On which date? I see a notice of 10/15/2021.
Okay.
Orders entered.
Look at that.
Judgment of non-suit, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, it says Judge Kavanowski.
Really? Now, why did Kavanowski get something that Gennaro noticed to me saying, this case is going to trial, John Flynn, and then have another judge who knows absolutely nothing about the case intervene?
Well, Judge Kavanowski was assigned to do the...
I know who Judge Kavanowski is. Who assigned him?
But Judge Gennaro's the PJ for civil. He assigns all the judges for trials.
Okay, so the fact that Adams' law firm cashed thousands of stolen checks, what does Adams have to do with it?
I don't even know.
Well, 10 of the attorneys working for Adams claim to be my attorney that I don't know. So I'm wondering why...
Are we even talking about the same case anymore, or is this one of your older cases now?
Dude, you know, I happen to like you, but...
Well, it doesn't sound like it.
Well, hold on a second. I asked you, who's doing this who are doing these criminal acts? Who blocked me? Who called the marshals and blocked me from the judge's secretary?
I don't know. If I had done so, I would have been happy to tell you. I don't feel the need to call marshals just because people come to the clerk's office. If they're acting inappropriately, I certainly will, but I didn't feel the need to do that.
I agree. And you can't tell me who.
I don't know.
You don't know who's flipping the judges all over the place. Whoever probably took the bribes from Bank America, which are being proven, by the way. There's a judge. There's a judge involved. Okay, I've been told by the FBI. Okay, there's a judge involved, and I'm not a liar. Okay, so you can accuse me of whatever you want. I just want to know. I just want to know why, if you're all aware of what you're doing, why it continues.
Mr. Flynn, my only concern is doing my job, and if anyone wishes to look at my record...
Megan McCaffrey's a sweet lady, okay? However, she's never helped us at all, ever. Unless she's the one that you're pointing the finger at now. If that's true, just say yes.
I'm sorry, could you repeat that?
If Megan McCaffrey's the victim, or the villain, creating these problems on the court record, is that your opinion? No, probably not. Right. She's a nice lady. Why would she do that?
I have no reason to believe anyone in our office is doing anything like that. And if I did, I would certainly report it.
I suggest you get reporting and you let me know why my cases are non-suited all the time, especially when the postmark of the mail is in question. You guys don't mail anything on a Saturday. Why are my mail items postmarked on a Saturday? There's no one there on a Saturday, except for the guy.
We electronically enter the notices, and then they're automatically generated and sent out.
On a Saturday?
It might be that the mail gets delivered. The post office is open on Saturdays. All of the orders that we put in electronically. We don't physically, fold up every single piece of paper and then put it in the mailbox.
Okay, so
it gets created separate.
What you're saying is, yeah, I called you and I got Hartford, okay? I called you. Yes. The last 10 times I called you, I got Hartford.
Well, if you're calling the main line, it's going to go to the call center.
965-5308 is Stamford's number, and Hartford answers.
Yes, the call center gets all of the calls for the main numbers, for almost all the courthouses.
Your phone is blocking my number. I've tried to call your number, and you denied it.
Direct line?
You've given it to me. What is it, 9517?
965-5747.
That's it. 5747 is blocked by this phone. That's the number you gave me in the email 6 months ago.
Yeah,
it worked 3 times and it never worked again.
Email I sent you. It's on the signature of all of my emails that I sent you.
Dude, it worked 3 times and then it stopped working.
I have no.
Can you possibly put this motion in the screen while I am watching it? Because right now it's not there.
Which motion? No, I'm sitting on the phone with you. It's probably sitting in a bin waiting to get scanned in. I'll get it scanned in for you today. I mean, I have no reason to believe it won't get scanned in shortly, but I'll personally go.
Okay, so here you go. Do you understand the point of going to a trial, going to a court-ordered meeting with a judge on 11/29, me showing up, the judge being there and lying that he's not there, A. B, you guys told the defendants not to come when you never told me. C, you sent me a notice that I received after a hearing so you could non-suit me. You understand? I called.
I understand that's what
I called immediately getting the notice. I spoke 6 conversations. You promised me that day a response. I never got. Do you recall? Because it's recorded. You said to me, I will talk to the staff and find out what happened. Do you recall that?
On which day?
On the date I got the notice. And it was already past the hearing date. You said, oh, this is from 10/15. Oh, really? So why is this timestamp after the 16th? Why is the postage after the Saturday? I mean, the postage was done on a Saturday, which is impossible. You don't have a printer at the post office. They don't put your letter in an envelope and put a stamp on it at the post office. No, you have to put it in the envelope and run it through your own meter to get it to the post office, and you don't do it on a Saturday, okay? That's never happened before. Never.
So all of our notices get are created electronically at the courthouses, and they're created centrally up in Hartford. I don't know exactly how they do it, but we do not sit and physically send out all of those notices on court cases that are electronically created. We don't sit and generate those. Now, when I have to mail something back to someone, or
okay, here you go. Paper, how can you possibly explain that the Stamford Superior Court stayed 300 cases that were financially related, and NASDAQ did the exact same thing through Bernie Madoff, and you guys never allowed and never processed 200 of the cases and denied the fee waivers. Can you explain why the fee waivers are denied?
You'd have to ask the judge about that. And
I have.
I have no evidence.
And here we go. Every time I confront a judge, I confronted Jacobs. She won't hear my cases anymore. I confronted Heller. She won't hear my cases anymore. Povodator won't hear my cases anymore. Gennario is put in there, taken out, put in there. Do you know who William Gennario is?
No.
He's a pedophile priest at the Catholic Church who paid off Catholics with bribes when they found priests diddling with kids. That's his uncle. Did you know that?
I'm not aware of that, no.
Well, Google it. He's from Norwalk, Connecticut.
I don't really feel like it, but...
So is Robert Gennario. He's from Norwalk, Connecticut. That's his uncle, I'm told. Really? Are they holding that over him?
I would have no idea.
Well, how's the judge switched again back to Kavanowski?
I have no reason to believe the judge has ever been...
I printed the screen yesterday. Ethan came with me. He looked at the screen from the library up top. We wrote the motion for re-argument. I put it in yesterday at 2 o'clock probably. And then you look now, 24 hours later, I got a timestamp. I can tell you what the timestamp is. I made her give me a timestamp of the document when she took it in.
Yep, that would be your normal procedure.
And in between now and then, you switch the judge again.
I have never gone in and switched a judge without an actual order from a judge. That would be plain to see. There would be a motion. There would be like an order of correction saying, "Oh."
Okay. Have you read 154? Have you read 154?
Have I what?
Have you read motion 154?
In the fire tree case?
Yeah.
No.
Okay. Why don't you turn to
I don't
it?
know offhand, but I'll look at it.
Why don't you turn to it?
I may have.
Why don't you turn to it? What does it say? Defendant Fire Tree's motion to dismiss, May 28th, right? Now, where are their... And I talked to you in the past about their admissions. Their admissions are removed from the screen, dude.
Okay, which motion are we talking about?
158.
Yes, that's motion for permission to file summary judgment.
Right. What's it say at the bottom about the ruling?
There is no ruling.
It's denied. What's it say?
I'm looking at 158, filed 9/7/2021.
Well, 154, excuse me. 154,
Okay.
and then 150.
Motion to dismiss.
Right. Motion to dismiss.
Yes,
Right?
It-
Denied.
on
Right?
10/6.
Denied, right?
Yes.
Okay. Where are the admissions?
I don't see any.
Yeah. Where did they go?
Well, if they had been there, there would be a pleading number sequentially that would be missing.
Well, look up further. Look up higher up. There's...
There would be a break. So
Hold on. Look at Norwalk, okay? Where's the admission? Affidavit, Roche. By the way, there are blatant lies in these affidavits. Is it your understanding that an attorney can lie to the judge? Is there a name for that? Huh? Is there a name for that?
I mean, I guess it would be perjury, or it would be perjury if you're lying under oath.
Well, that's exactly what happened in that affidavit. So where's my motion about that? Now look over there. Look at number 102.
Yes, motion to waive entry fee.
Now, Kenneth Povodator, you see that, Judge?
Mm-hmm.
His partner, Larrabee, put the hit on me, according to the police. So why is Kenneth Povodator raising his ugly head in my life after he tried to get me killed?
I imagine he was the judge who was available to rule on the fee waiver.
He has a conflict of interest, okay? Ready, look here. Look at 107. What does that say?
Answer and or objections to requests for admissions.
Right. That's their answer to my admission that used to be in the screen that was removed.
Well, I see you filed a request. That's 105. Is that not what they're responding to?
No, that's not it. That is clearly a second set of interrogatories, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's not an admission, right? So here you go. You have evidence that there was an admission which is no longer there. Correct?
I don't follow. No.
Excuse me?
Looking at the pleading numbers, they go sequentially. Had there been something previously filed and then removed, there would be a break in the numbers. It goes, 100, 101, 102.
Unless it was removed between the next two filings, correct?
I don't see anything.
Okay, so you have an answer to the request for admissions, right? Here, look at Harry Rilling's response. Okay?
What pleading number is that?
He denied.
That's 108?
Yeah, that's 108. Okay, so he denied everything I claimed he did, right?
Okay.
I have his emails to the detectives where he's instructing them to screw us. I have the emails of his detectives lying, saying that I'm a domestic terrorist and that I threatened to blow up Bank America. That's in his file. You guys removed it. You removed the mayor of Norwalk's emails claiming that I was a domestic terrorist while they were cashing my stolen checks. Do you understand what this implicates?
I see no evidence of anything having been removed from the case.
Right.
Like I said,
except that there's a admission here being blocked, right?
Where?
I wrote them. I have them. Dude, I have my records. You don't. That's a problem. I have 250 cases you can't find. I have records of 250 cases. I've asked you in emails to explain where certain cases went, where you cashed my check, and the case was dismissed. It's never been recovered. I cannot find 250 cases, and neither can you. And I have the canceled checks.
I have no reason to believe that we're sitting on hundreds of cases that we failed to file.
They were on Elizabeth Condren's desk. I said, Elizabeth, this is long overdue. It has to be talked about. It needs to be move the football up the field. And she said, oh, I found it. Is this the one? Case 109? Case 110? Case 100? Case 100 is important. Case 102 is millions of dollars. Millions of dollars. Millions of dollars. I mean, how much more? I'm missing a stock certificate on 250,000 shares of Paladin Labs that I bought at 75 cents. Do you understand? It was taken out at $150 a share. That's 37 million, one stock certificate. I'm missing 3 million shares of Select Therapeutics. Can you explain how the investment banker is missing that for the company?
I have no idea.
Okay, well, here's an even better one. I invested in the private placement of NASDAQ when it went public, okay? Twice I invested, right? Because I was a member, I got an option to buy stock, correct? Only the members bought stock. Guess what happened? I filed a case against computer shares. It's in the screen. I can tell you the number, which you guys dismissed. Now, I alleged that I invested in an IPO of NASDAQ, which was trading at $13, where I got warrants and shares of stock. You know what? You know where NASDAQ is today? Let's look. NASDAQ price. $206.78 today. Down $2. Do you know how much I own?
I do not.
Okay. I'm out $190 times how many thousand shares? How many thousand shares do I own?
I do not know.
Quite a bit. I bought stock, but I bought warrants struck at 13, 14, 15, 16, and 17 because they were out of the money at the time when the stock was trading at 5. 100% up from 5 is 13, 300% is 16, 17, 18, right? I own stock at all those strike prices, okay? And you guys dismissed the case saying, go arbitrate with NASDAQ when it was their IPO. Go to NASDAQ and arbitrate. And you stayed my action pending NASDAQ arbitration. You expected me to go to NASDAQ, do you understand? And arbitrate how NASDAQ stole my shares of their own company, of my own company, their own company. I was a member. Do you understand they had a conflict of interest? Yeah, you should, because I explained it thoroughly. Why would you force me to go to NASDAQ if they robbed me? That's why you took the 300 cases out of the screen. This is massive fraud. Massive. This is you violating my right again and again and again, 300 times, sending me to NASDAQ who was robbing me. Bernie Madoff was chairman of NASDAQ, the biggest criminal of all time. Judge Heller's special master is his attorney. Do you think we should have a problem with that? John Carberry is on multiple boards of different corporations with Judge Heller. They're both members of the Stanwich Golf Club. And you forced me to go to her to use her special master, Bernie Madoff's attorney. Do you think I have a problem with that? Yeah. And I expressed it in multiple judicial complaints, which are missing. And you're saying, call Carol, the chief court administrator? Really? Why? He's in charge of the fraud, dude. How can you force, when Bernie Madoff is the biggest criminal of all time, how can you force me in the Stamford Superior Court to arbitrate with him? Can you give an explanation? I'm
not familiar with that case.
Do you see the obvious conflict of interest? Do you recognize the conflict of interest? Do you recognize there is a conflict of interest?
I don't know enough about the case to...
Let me spell it out. They went public. I invested. My shares are in computer shares, and you guys dismissed the case. Why? You told me to go arbitrate with the guy who robbed me. Really? All my securities fraud problems begin and end with Bernie Madoff, and you guys know that, because I went to court. How many times? 350 times. And you cashed my check and dismissed the case, just like now with Firetree. This is corruption, dude. I say, wow, I got a notice to go to a hearing. Here it is. You say, it's been canceled.
It wasn't canceled. There never was a hearing.
Did you just hear what you said? It wasn't canceled. There never was a hearing. I got a notice. I got a notice from you to go to court, to a hearing.
No, the notice was that it was printing on the docket. That was simply
no.
Calendar.
No, because when I went for an explanation, that's not what I heard. And I have a witness.
Okay. Yes, I
And that's not what you said. That's not what you said. That's not what you said.
I told you it was marked off because...
Because? Go ahead.
Because the case is in disposition already. It's moot.
It's not moot. There's never been a hearing, and the judge ordered me to be there, and then you switched judges.
I did nothing of the sort.
Hey, Kavanowski doesn't know me from Adam, okay? And we have an uncle of a judge who's a pedophile priest dealing with these cases, and they're holding it over him to get him to rule a specific way, one way or another, as long as it hurts me.
Look, Mr. Flynn, I have not switched judges. I have done nothing to keep you from accessing the court. Now, if you're upset with a judge's ruling, I
filed a motion to reopen, and it's not in the screen. And that's on you. Because I asked you to do it, and you walked away 3 times. I said, Ryan, I'm standing here. Why aren't you processing this? And you said, I'll get someone else. And then...
Because I was in the middle of closing the register, Mr. Flynn. I'm not your personal clerk. There's plenty of other clerks.
Excuse me. I was standing there for a hell of a long time. You can look at the video. And then you only cared when... You guys only cared when people lined up behind me. Yeah. Look.
Like I said, well, I haven't had a chance to even grab your motion out of the bin to be filed since we've been on the phone. It's been now half an hour into my lunch break that I'm not...
It's 41 minutes and 39 seconds.
Okay.
Actually, my phone call... My phone call is 55 minutes. And your part of the conversation is 41.
If you think that I'm manipulating cases, that I'm doing,
I can prove it.
Okay, well then why are you speaking to me if you think I'm corrupt?
I hope you can fix it since you're the only clerk there.
Megan McCaffrey, our boss. She's the chief clerk. She's my boss. If you think I'm doing something inappropriate,
hi.
You can certainly report to her.
It's like saying go to Bertie Madoff, the biggest criminal of all time, and fix the 500,000 felonies that you allowed to occur.
Report me to court operations. I'm sure they'll investigate me, and I'll be happy to talk to them.
I desire judicial competence and fairness. I don't desire to ruin your life in any way. What would be the purpose of that? Knowing that Megan McCaffrey and Amy are worse. They've never had discussions with me. They hang up on me immediately. Amy doesn't take my call.
And then if I was doing all these awful things to
And by the way, Amy handled a foreclosure of a house I own, where 28 mortgage checks were stolen and cashed. And she knows that, because I told her. And she discussed it with me until she hung up. So now I find out that Pritchard's been attaching the judges to the mortgage fraud cases, which are obvious to me that there's fraud there. They stole a $3.5 million house that had a $200,000 mortgage. And you allowed it.
Me personally, or...
If that's not racketeering, I don't know what is.
I'm sorry?
If that's not racketeering, I don't know what is. The problem I have is that I've had 2 houses stolen. Not one. This is my 2nd house stolen. And Firetree has been sending the letters to 27 Quintard where I don't live, which you know about. You know, because we spoke about it. And I recorded that too.
Yeah, no, you updated your address with us. You filed a new appearance.
Right. And they continually, the last notice I got from them is to 31 Quintard again. Yet they were told not to come to court, and I was told to come to court. Why? Because I called the court and asked if it was scheduled, and you said yes. The person on the phone said yes. I said, oh, I'm going to have people coming from other parts of the state. Yeah.
Well,
By the way, did you see? Did you see Pritchard at the thing? Did you see Pritchard at the thing?
I don't know what he looks like.
Okay.
I'm usually in my office.
Okay, because he said he was coming. Do you know who Lori Hopkins Kavanaugh is?
I don't.
She said she was coming. You know she ran. You know she ran for Congress.
Right here.
You never heard of her name? You're kidding, right?
Of who?
Lori Hopkins Kavanaugh.
No.
Okay, she ran for Congress in Connecticut.
I don't pay attention to politics.
Oh yeah.
Or certainly not local politics.
Oh yeah. You know who Povodator worked for, right? Malloy. You know, I sued Malloy for 500,000 felonies, and Povodator was chief counsel to the city of Stamford, and Malloy made him a judge, and you steered the case to him, not you personally. He was steered the case that he overlooked for 14 years, where a hitman was sent through Larrabee. Larrabee worked for Povodator and Malloy. So the police union sent a hitman named Filippelli with an axe to kill me. You understand?
Okay.
Okay, now they sprung him from jail 2 other times, once to kill a cop named Lamb and once to kill a cop named Dealey. Did you know that? Well, it's in the record of the court. It's called State versus Riddle, which Jacobs, Heller, and Povodator refused to put into the record. Did you know that? Did you know that all 3 judges refused to give me a subpoena for my own banking records and refused to give me a subpoena for the 911 calls when East Haven sent a murderer to kill me? Did you know that?
I did not.
Which implicates Judge Povodator, Judge Heller, and Judge Jacobs. Why? Because in America, when you're assaulted and there's a 911 call, normally you get the tape for a trial. Wouldn't you agree?
I would imagine.
I didn't. Can you explain why a murderer with 77 arrests, and the last arrest he had was armed robbery of a Motel 6, that this guy would not have to... working for the police chief is what he said he was doing. And it's true. The chief was Larrabee, who was Stamford's chief for 10 years under Malloy, where the felonies occurred on Summer Street in Stamford. So I say to myself, where are the 200 cases I filed that are not in the screen? I've asked you that before.
Yes, I know. And as I said, I have no reason to think we're sitting on hundreds of cases that were not filed.
I have my records. I have them all. Some of those cases are timestamped 10 times. You returned them 9, 10 times. Some of those cases. And the fee waivers were denied on every single one. And since I'm worth about minus 100 million, and by the way, the 3 million shares that I'm missing on Select, right? I think they're worth $1,000 each. That's $1 billion. I'm worth $1 billion on paper, potentially. But in reality, what's my net worth? If I'm short that stock that I owe people shares of, and it does go to 1,000, will I be worth negative $1 billion?
I don't know. I don't know how that works.
That's how that works. So when I subpoenaed the brokerage records of my own firm, right? And the judge denied it, I'm required by SEC law to have my brokerage firm's banking records. Why did the judge deny that? Federal law.
I don't know.
Federal law says I have to file my taxes as a brokerage firm owner. Do you understand? Why did Judge Adams's law firm file it on my behalf? Can you tell me that?
I don't know.
Exactly. So why is he the chief administrative judge? Or he was. Is he still?
No.
Okay.
Right now it's Judge Malloy.
Oh, Blowy. Wonderful. Do you know about Blowy?
I mean, I know him from when I worked in criminal, yes.
Okay, so what can you tell me about Blowy?
That he sat in criminal, he still sits in criminal, and now he's the administrative judge for the district.
Oh my God. Do you know he's on a first name basis with Dennis Bradley, who got indicted?
I don't.
Do you know why?
I think he's an attorney, or was an attorney. I think I saw something about it, yeah. He was running for office or something about campaign contributions, or...
Oh, no, he's Himes Staffer. Did you know that?
No.
He's Congressman Himes Staffer. Guess what? You know about the others, Himes Staffer?
No.
He got murdered, stabbed 39 times in Washington, D.C. Do you know who Seth Rich is?
No.
That's Hillary's staffer that got murdered. You know why?
No.
Because of WikiLeaks. He gave WikiLeaks Hillary's emails. Guess what? You're sitting on a huge criminal conspiracy. I'm not a conspiracy theorist. I'm the victim. So I don't want to take away from your lunch, but my friend, if you don't clean up your act, I will make it my business to send you to jail forever. Do you understand? And I like you.
Thank you.
And I won't hurt you. I don't want to go above your head. They're worse than you are. I have a feeling that you know what's going on and you are concerned, or I wouldn't even say so. And then I ask you questions about how a hearing is dismissed when you knew I didn't get the notice. Because I told you. And I'm not getting notices from Firetree. And I told you. And what happened? You allowed it. You didn't pick up the phone. I'm not mad at him. I'm just mad. My father's upset that I'm yelling at you, so I apologize. I mean no ill will, honestly.
No, I understand. Look.
If you don't fix this mess, okay, it's going to lead to me taking unreasonable risks, knowing that they already sent Richard Filippelli with an axe to kill me. Do you understand that? Okay.
I have not blocked your number.
It's blocked.
After we spoke last time about it,
it's blocked.
I reached out to the woman who handles all of our phone systems. She said there are no blocked numbers. We don't even have the ability to block numbers.
That's such a lie.
Who's
that?
I do not know why your
Who's that?
Blocked.
Who said that?
Linda Vickers, she handles all the phones for judicial.
Okay. If you say she's a good person, I'll let it go.
Yeah, no, I have no reason to think.
Okay, then neither do I. But you don't have control of Kavanewski or Blowy. No. You know Blowy's getting sued by Pritchard. You know that, right?
I know he had filed like a motion for capias against all the
judges. Arrest. He wants him arrested.
Yeah, no, I did hear about that.
Okay, yeah, so Blowy's under arrest right now, and what are you doing about it?
He's not been arrested to my knowledge unless it happened sometime this morning.
Oh, they're not gonna arrest the judge. Why would they? You see, they're not following the federal or the state law. That's why Blowy won't be arrested. So he'll be allowed to perpetrate other frauds. When I say 500,000 felonies, okay, that's an understatement. I challenge you to ever catch me in a lie. It won't happen, because I don't need to lie.
I don't think you're lying to me.
Okay, well, you say, well, that's according to you. This is what you say. I have no reason to believe that what you say is right.
No, I think you believe what you're telling me.
Okay. Well, then why did you allow a hearing over Zoom where I wasn't properly served, knowing they don't use my proper address after my appearance, which I sent in? How many times did I send that appearance in? 3 times, right? I sent it in twice, and then the third time I said, hey, Ryan, I keep sending this in. This is wrong. I sent this appearance in 3 times, and you said, please send it to my attention so I can update this properly, right? Remember?
Sounds like something I would say.
Right. That is exactly what you said. So now I'm concerned that you knew they weren't getting my... Hi, Judge Gennario. This is Ryan Flanagan with the knowledge that John Flynn has not gotten served by Firetree ever at the right address. Why? Because we mishandled 2 of his appearances, and the third one I took care of personally to guarantee that it was updated. I said, Brian, I sent you this twice. Where is it? Like today, I said, hey, I handed you this motion yesterday. Why? Because it's important that they know I was there yesterday. Now you've let it go overnight to prove that I didn't handle it properly. Really? Thank you very much.
I did not do that.
You walked away from the window. You knew I was waiting. You put another woman up there. You didn't help me. You got someone else.
I came up to the front because they were in the middle of turning over the register and I had to complete it. I did not know you were there again to file anything. So I was working on the register.
I had a thing in my hand. I pushed it through the slot. It was 1 foot from your right hand while you were clicking on the terminal 1 foot away.
Because if I'm in the middle of something, look, I would be happy to help you if you wanted to wait.
Hey, Johnny, what's this?
Immediately?
This is the motion I filed because of what happened today.
I will make sure that gets in the system.
Okay, so now I'll just give you a heads up. Lori Kavanaugh, Pritchard, Ethan Book, and I, we're fed up with the misconduct of pro se litigators. And you know what that is. Anyone who represents themselves is a fool. That's what every lawyer tells every other lawyer. Why? Because the judges are helping the lawyers they know and hurting the lawyers they don't know, and certainly hurting the pro se litigator who isn't even a lawyer. So the fact that I filed 100 subpoenas that were denied, does that concern you?
I would have to know the exact details of each one.
Okay, the subpoena for the 911 calls when the hit was placed on me. What do you think?
I don't know. I don't know enough. I mean, all I know is a few details that you've told me. I can't sit and second guess something by a judge.
Okay, so I brought the 911 calls to the 3 court cases and asked the judge to put them in the record, and all 3 said no. I sued Lisa Scaramella for pointing a gun at the back of my head, climbing out of the bushes at my brokerage firm, and telling me she was going to shoot me. So guess what? I called 911 with her holding a gun to the back of my head, and the operator answered and said, "What's this all about?" I said, "There's an officer pointing her gun at the back of my head, telling me she wants to shoot me." Well, guess what? I never got to play that 911 call. Isn't that amazing? And not only that, a month after she did that, a woman committed suicide that she threatened. It's a fact. I have a file on it. Okay, so when I say, and then I pushed that court case a little bit further, and she was asked to resign. That's one bad cop off the police force. Do you understand? Do you understand how that's wrong, her hiding in the bushes at my brokerage firm when I arrive in the morning? Get out of my car, she jumps behind me and says, "I got your number, Mr. Flynn." She knew who I was. She was lying in wait. You understand?
Okay.
Well, guess what? I didn't win that lawsuit. Can you imagine that? I sued Lisa Scaramella. Povodator heard it, I believe, who protected Larrabee, who's her boss, and he had a 10-year relationship with, and he failed to disclose his relationship. That they worked together for Malloy in Stamford as chief of staff of the attorneys, right? right? And Larrabee, police chief. So exactly what happened here? Well, the next victim she had killed herself. I wonder what she said. That's on you. Why? Because you were in part of it. You were part of this. And I say to myself, okay, how screwed up is this state and why? The second time I tried to get 911 calls was from Heller. Heller's special master is Bernie Madoff's attorney. Bernie Madoff is the biggest criminal of all time. 58 billion. Did you know that? Ponzi scheme. He robbed...
Yeah, I've heard of it, but...
Okay, so when I say I wanted the 911 calls, why didn't I get them? Now, Jacobs is worse. Jacobs heard a trial that was 7.5 days against Malloy. Jacobs was appointed by Malloy. Did you know that? Why would Malloy, being a defendant, he wasn't even required to answer the interrogatories. He never showed. He wasn't a witness. I was denied a jury. I was denied witnesses. I was denied subpoenas. I was denied evidence. I couldn't put the 911 calls. This is 30 separate ones. There are 30 911 calls just from that trial. Okay? No subpoena. No jury. And the judge was appointed by the defendant. Do you think there's a problem with that off the top of your head?
Again, I don't know enough about
Okay, well, here we go. I have the 30 emails now. I have the 30 911 calls now. You know why? Because when a woman who was a cop retired, she got them for me and she mailed them to me with an apology saying, I know what happened to you. What happened to you should never happen to anyone. Here are the 911 calls that you requested back then. Do you know what the 911 calls she recorded said?
No.
The first one said, Hi, Mr. Flynn. This is so-and-so police officer in East Haven. We'd like you to come to your office tomorrow at 10 o'clock in East Haven from Norwalk. It's 38 miles. I said, sure, I'll be there at 10 o'clock. I went there. The guy with the axe was in the basement, hiding in my house. He broke in. He was waiting for me. He confronted me. I was sent there by the police. I fought the guy for 2.5 hours. I called 911 29 more times in the next 3 hours. And you know what? They never showed. You know why? Because the guy who threatened me with the axe said, I'm working for the police. You calling them is a joke. They sent me. Did you understand what I just said?
Yeah, no, I heard you.
Okay. Why is an informant taking over a brokerage firm's address, becoming a tenant, and why did the police refuse to tell me his name for 9 months? They couldn't evict him as a John Doe. So when you look at this guy's history, right? He was evicted 9 other times. And the time after my house, he went into a woman's house with dementia, convinced her that he should live there. She let him, and the daughter found out, who went berserk because she was contacted by me, and I said, this guy is the biggest menace to society there has ever been. I gave her the transcripts of the court cases where he testified he gets paid to hurt people by the police union. Did you know that? Do you have a problem with that? Yeah, I do. So now when you go back and you look at a John Doe moving from house to house who's an informant for the East Haven Police Department, you got to wonder why Judge Heller, Jacobs, and Povodator did not provide subpoenas for Larrabee's informant. What do you think? He had 77 arrests in the screen. He had 22 unprosecuted arrests at the time. So East Haven told me never come back to this house. You know what? I never have. You know why? Because if you look up what Mr. Cari told me that. You know who Mr. Cari is? C-A-R-I?
No.
He's a cop that testified. He got trained to falsify police reports to justify false arrest. That's what he testified. Did you know that?
I do not.
Well, Heller knows. Jacobs knows. Povodator knows. So why do we have cops testifying they were trained to falsify police reports to justify false arrest? Well, I'll tell you. What I've described is the tip of the iceberg. Do you know who Miller is?
I don't.
Spaulding? Do you know who Spaulding is?
No.
The media won't print what they did. You know why? Because it's terrifying. I know what they did. I want these things corrected.
John, you've been on the phone for 30 minutes.
I've been on for an hour and 6 minutes.
Yeah.
Okay.
More like 40 minutes.
I gotta go. All right. I have a plumbing job. Catch you later, Ryan. Thanks. You're the best. You need to fix what you know is wrong, and you know it's wrong.
Give him a break.
I will get your motion scanned in today.
Very good. Thank you. That's what it took, Pop. I'm sorry.